All right, welcome to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, seen every Thursday from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. out of Indie Music Television in Ronkonkoma, New York. At the desk is the super producer, Matt, once again. How are you, sir?
Doing great as always, and you?
All right, I'm great. And to the right is the star of the show, Mr. Jimmy Pharaoh. Jimmy, how are you, my friend?
Just Ducky, how are you?
Another long weekend. You had a successful weekend with Mr. Eric Sims, James Ellsworth, and the Superman Gilberg.
I love Gilberg.
Thoughts?
I love Gilberg. Gilberg was freaking hilarious. Yeah, it was a good time, man. Good show, good interviews. Auction went well, check. Basically, check off the boxes.
Nice.
Yeah, it works.
And how's your weekend?
Well,
Besides
you know what,
after that,
you know
right?
what I turn into when I go home.
Did you go home and drink
turn
afterwards?
into a big flask of whiskey. Yeah, well,
Monte The Pharaoh would like to thank
gotta
the
do
bands that sing our theme songs. Aqua Cherry, Straight to the Top, the Monte The Pharaoh theme song. Also catch their other songs such as Yes, Yes, Forever, and Seasons. Aqua Cherry's music can be found on Spotify, iTunes, Reverb Nation, or where music's sold. Also, our outro song is sung by none other than the star of the show, Mr. Jimmy Pharaoh, along with his partner, Bart Griggs, as part of the band Wisteria Hall. Wisteria Hall sings such great songs as In My Dreams, our outro songs. This Life, my personal favorite. Not Far Behind. Here Comes the Rain.
And Riding High.
Stay
tuned for the video.
You can find their music on Spotify, iTunes, and Reverb Nation. Monte The Pharaoh also can be seen on YouTube, the Monte The Pharaoh page, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Twitch TV, Monte The Pharaoh page, RTF Sports Network on Thursday from 8 to 9 p.m. Our time has changed.
Okay.
And from Monday to 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Okay.
Channel 15 every Tuesday from 8:30 to 9 p.m. And for early risers, Channel 115, 6 a.m. to 6:30. And then on Friday, just a few hours from now, 1:30 in the morning, you can catch us on Channel 20.
All right.
We got a special show for everybody tonight in respects to the passing of the Ugandan giant Kamala. We're going to take a quick commercial break and then have a special guest who's going to speak about the passing of Mr. James Harris, Kamala. We'll see you in a few minutes. All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, seen every Thursday out of Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma, New York. And on the phone, we have future Hall of Famer, Mr. Lanny Poffo. Lanny, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you very much for that introduction. I would rather see some other wrestlers get in before me, namely the late Kamala. And where the hell is Rick Martel?
Yeah, preaching to the choir on that one, brother genius, for sure.
Well, Lanny, we wanted to ask you about Mr. James Harris. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
Well, I know he wrestled as Sugar Bear Harris. I never met him then. And then I remember Jerry Lawler gave him the gimmick. You see, and when I met him, he didn't know a thing about Idi Amin or Uganda. He knew a lot about Sanatobia, Mississippi, if you want to know. So, he's supposed to be the Ugandan giant. Well, he was a giant, but he was not from Uganda. He was from Sanatobia, Mississippi.
And did you ever do a personal relationship with him at all?
Oh, yeah, I wrestled him and did very well. He had a great career. He had a good run with Hulk Hogan, which is where the money's at. Well, not necessarily for him, but it was a lot of money. And if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit as far as the money he made
claims,
when he wrestled Hogan?
He claims Undertaker made $500,000. He only made $18,000 in the same match. Do you remember that?
I heard that, yes.
Yeah, and I hear that a lot, but that's just, I don't know, if you don't like it, leave, or whatever they tell you. You know what I mean?
Lanny, do you take that as factual when Kamala says something like that? And what's your take when an Undertaker makes $500,000 and Kamala makes so much less? Do you think that that's just the way the business is? What's your take?
I think the way I did it, I was just, in my career of 21 years, I was just lucky to be in it. Mm-hmm. I felt I was just lucky to be there. And I knew I could be replaced very, very easily. So I just took the money and raised my family and saved and invested as if I was going to be fired, and finally I was. So, eventually they're going to wish you luck on your future endeavors. So if you don't save your money, you're going to wind up, on GoFundMe.
Do you feel that it's a discredit to someone like The Undertaker who has to bear the brunt of being paid $500,000? Didn't he earn his spot on the card the way, of course, the legendary, your brother, Macho Man, earned it? I mean, where do we draw the line as far as salaries and who's got the right to complain? And what's your take on that? Like, let's say Macho wrestled somebody and they made considerably less. Don't you feel that, Macho earned his rep and his check is accordingly,
well, I was on main events for 4 months, and I was so grateful. I would never consider arguing about a payoff. Here I was, a complete jabroni, and then all of a sudden I'm on NBC with Hulk Hogan, and then I'm teamed up with Mr. Perfect, and it was the greatest 4 months of my life, my career anyway. My 2 grandchildren and my daughter are the greatest things in my life. But, it's just the way the business is. Yes, Undertaker deserves every penny he ever made, and so did the Macho Man. But Kamala they were just using him as an electron, where, Undertaker was the neutron in the middle, and everybody else was rotating around him like the bum of the month. And that's the way it was. But I'll tell you what, Kamala had a lot of ring color, and I don't mean that in a racist way, just a term. Charisma, ring color. He was very fastidious with his paint. He would come in early, paint his face, and even when he made personal appearances, he would paint his face and take a great deal of care in it. He took care of his gimmick very much.
How was he as a person?
Oh, I loved him, and I think you'll find that's everybody did.
Lanny, back on the payoffs, when you were wrestling Hogan, did you take a guess what you were going to make, or did they tell you, depending on the house, did you know what you were going to make, or was it you were just hoping to get paid well?
I was more worried about what I would. If there's two. You ever hear of Dr. Wayne Dyer? He died about 5 years ago of leukemia.
Sure.
Really? Okay,
yeah, actually,
yeah.
My mom read all his books. We had him in the house growing up. Go on.
Okay, there's two different dynamics. how may I serve and what's in it for me? And always ask yourself, how may I serve? Because the more you give, the more you get in the world. Yes. And okay, I loved Kamala, but evidently there's a lot of people on GoFundMe. If Kamala would have not made $18,000, if he would have made $36,000, which is double, right?
Right.
He'd still be just as broke when he died, okay? In other words, if you put a zero at the end of it, if you would have given him $180,000 instead of $18,000, still be just as broke. Because if there's a hole in the bucket, does it matter how much water goes in the bucket? No. The answer is no. You got a hole in the bucket, you put in as much water as you want, and it's all going to go on the floor. However, if you got a good bucket, you can fill up your bucket with an eyedropper, one drop at a time, and you'll get rich from that. And there are people that didn't make a lot of money that wound up rich, and there are people that made a lot of money, wound up broke. Not just in wrestling, in every walk of life. Show business, you know, Willie Nelson had to, because he couldn't pay his taxes, because he's an independent contractor, and they don't take it out quarterly. You know what I mean? When you have a job, they take the money out. You know, like you can't not pay your taxes. They remove it before you get it. But if you're an independent contractor like we were, you have to be proactive and pay your taxes. I don't mean to be boring, but the same thing is happening to everybody. And if anybody's listening, please, you know, it's not what you make, it's what you save. $18,000, that may have been he may have been underpaid, but I guarantee you that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Yep.
So, Lanny, I guess the point here also is, let's speak about independent contractors. Are professional wrestlers, do you think they should be independent contractors or actually workers for the company they're working for?
Well, who are you talking to? A former wrestler or a former promoter? I'm both.
You know what? I'll talk to both of them. Give me both your answers.
Okay, the answer is no and no.
Well, so much for that.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, you can be, you know, it's like in wrestling. First of all, nobody held a gun to my head, told me I had to wrestle. I could have like mopped up at a peep show, right?
Right. Which is a little disgusting, but you know, hey.
It's well, one man's disgust is another man's flavor.
We're not going to get into your immense member again, are we, Lanny?
What's that now?
We're not going to get into your immense member again, are we, Lanny?
Oh, no, let's not get into it.
Would you please? Lanny, seriously, answer me this. Where is the responsibility factor coming from all the I hate Vince McMahon marks? How responsible is Vince now that Kamala has passed away? Is it all his fault that his later years were so difficult? And how come Vince didn't pay for his funeral? Where do you stand on what Vince owes past legends? And just past wrestlers in general that have worked for him? What does he owe them?
Do you remember Professor Elliott? He used to take the jackets back.
Okay.
Do you remember him?
I'm actually remembering the guy that took the jackets. Yeah, go on.
Okay, Professor Elliott at Madison Square Garden used to take the jackets back. Also at the Meadowlands.
Okay.
And he was a friend of the Grand Wizard, what the hell is it?
Ernie
Roth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he was a friend of Vince Sr.
Okay.
So before he died of diabetes also, he would call me up all the time. And he told me that about, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a year, Vince McMahon would send him an envelope with $5,000 in it.
To win.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, the only thing he's going to get for that is tired, you know. But in other words, he did what he wanted to do, and if he liked you, he did it.
Right.
And you see, the thing is, do you remember, I got a phone call from a lawyer that wanted me to get involved in a class action lawsuit with the concussions.
Okay.
And I said, I used to be known as the genius. And you ever heard of a John Grisham novel called King of Torts?
Can't say I have, but go on.
Well, I don't recommend it. I don't think it'll be a good movie.
No wonder I've never heard of it.
It's not really my kind of entertainment, but I did read it.
My God.
And you know what? I think? The only guy that gets rich in a class action lawsuit is the lawyer. So you got these 50 wrestlers that are on that list of class action lawsuit, and some of them are referees, and some of them are wrestling managers. Like, how does a manager or a referee get a concussion?
Maybe the referee got a hand injury from slapping the mat too hard? I don't know.
And how, also, some of these guys were like a cup of coffee in the WWE and didn't, spent most of their career outside of it. So they all got concussions. And, and I wonder, are any of them going to be in the Hall of Fame? Well, eventually, yeah, probably. You know what I mean? Anytime they want to just swallow the heat, they just take it away. But I think it is wrong that Kamala didn't get in the Hall of Fame while he was alive. So no matter what they do now, it's not the same.
Right.
People say I had a very good speech from my brother, but it wasn't a good speech. The Macho Man should have done it. One last, oh yeah, come on, guys.
Sure.
You know how we feel about that.
That's a sin
Well,
and a half.
you know what I mean? Yep. I did my best, but I ain't the Macho Man, and you're not going to make me the Macho Man.
Right.
I got to be myself, and myself, I did the best I could, and it's not good enough. Macho Man should have done it.
I know this
is
hard.
He should have been done it before 2011.
Lanny, your father, Angelo, he had his own wrestling organization, and obviously you and your brother wrestled for him. What's your thoughts on Vince McMahon letting go a substantial amount of wrestlers recently and office personnel, but giving his daughter and son raises? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the first part of your question was I didn't work for my father. We were 1/3 owners in the company, 33%.
Right.
Okay.
The repeating decimal, 33.33333.
Right.
You can do it on your iPhone. Okay. So
holy pie, Batman. Go on. 3.14, 3.1.
So the other thing is, I didn't know this, but it doesn't surprise me a bit. And that's what you're allowed to do when you own it. And you're also allowed to take risk and go out of business, and then nobody helps you.
Right.
It's like when you're the entrepreneur, you assume the risk and you get all the reward too. And see, I worked for Vince for 8 years out of my 21 years. And I must say, even though I was, well, how should I put this? Sucking hind tit on the sow is a farmer's expression. You understand me?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Except for that 4 months of main events, twice in Madison Square Garden. You can't find anybody that remembers this, but I do. Meant a lot to me at the time. In fact, like a fat lady, like a fat girl on prom night, I got a date to the dance. I was pretty excited.
Sure.
Sure. So anyway, this is the reason. I'm grateful for everything I got. And I don't want to. I don't expect. Let's put it this way. Even if I don't get in the Hall of Fame, I mean, can't I just be appreciative for what I got? And I'm still alive. I'm not crippled, and I got some nice memories. and every once in a while, something good happens as a ramification of what happened back in 1989. People say, "Hey, come on in." I wouldn't be interesting enough to bring in if it wasn't for that.
Yeah, I'm still mad at you for beating Hogan. Go on.
I'm sorry?
I'm still mad at you for beating Hogan. Go on.
Okay, well, I hope it's a long grudge.
Oh, trust me, it is. It is. Lanny, I know you probably can't answer this, but I'll give it a shot anyway. Do you know, by any chance, what was the relationship between Kamala in real life and Vince? Any idea? I mean, what caused Vince to kind of just turn his back, perhaps? Or any idea on the personal relationship between the two?
Okay, the wrestling business is a fickle mistress. Are you with me?
Yeah. Holy peep show. Mm-hmm.
They love you not. They love you not. Right now, they love me not, I guess.
Okay.
Except, when Randy died, and when my mom died, and when my brother died, and my father, so far, not one condolence sympathy card from Connecticut, even though they have PR people on the payroll. So I assume when I pass away, nothing will happen either. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then they'll be 0 for 4.
That being said, if Vince McMahon called you tomorrow, would you be civil with him, or would you be like, F you? How would you take that phone call?
I have never said F you to anybody.
Okay.
And I certainly wouldn't start with him, especially.
I was going to say, not Pat Patterson?
What?
No, I'll tell you what, I saw him in 2015, and he gave me his apology, quasi, and then defended himself, and I listened to it. And I wasn't there to argue with him, so I said, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I just let it go.
Right.
And I do talk about him on podcasts. I talk about him on yours.
Yeah.
And behind his back, but I ain't saying nothing to his face. He's 110 years old.
Oh my God. Here we go.
Probably after he expires, I will quit talking about him. But people are interested.
Right.
And just remember, when Randy's last day, instead of beating up Chief Jay Strongbow and Pat Patterson on the same day, he just said, "Oh, I'm too old? Okay, I'll get a second opinion." And then he leaves and takes Slim Jim with him. And then gets a job for his lesser talented brother. So I'd say he did pretty good, using his head instead of his fists.
Right.
Well, both of you are always very smart. Did you ever, do you have a poem about Kamala?
What?
Can I put you on the spot?
Wow.
Hang on, I do have it, but it's written down. Fortunately, I'm a very good housekeeper, and I know where everything is.
Behind the
I love
peephole.
Granny Papa,
You know
man.
who Marie Kondo is?
No, I do not, sir.
She sparks joy into a house, because if it doesn't spark joy, get rid of it. Okay, let me see if I have an old poem about Kamala.
Oh, wow.
You put me on the spot, but
I know I did.
I was challenged by that.
Excellent. And by the way, we wanted to mention about the passing of Regis Philbin, and one of the great shows with you and Kurt Hennig on that show. I know you're looking for the poem, but you have any memories of that?
Yeah, it was like it was January 15th, 1990. It was Martin Luther King's birthday, and they said they're going to have a huge rating that day because of that. Because the kids are out of school and stuff. So I enjoyed the hell out of it, and perfect, and I stayed in character. So that was pretty good. Okay, here's the poem.
Shoot.
It's very short. I wrestled him on NBC, right?
Yes.
It's the main event on NBC. The wrestling world is watching as Kamala bellies forth upon the scene. But if I emerge victorious, I could be next month's... Okay, but if I emerge victorious, I could be next month's centerfold in National Geographic magazine.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I got a little.
Oh my God.
I went
How
off speed a
sensitive
little
of
bit.
you. Go on.
You don't even know the
This is
vision I
amazing.
just had in my head when
Oh
you said
my-
that.
What was the vision?
Oh, I can't
What?
say it on air, bro.
Come on, Lanny. Oy, I want to stay on the air.
All right, Laddie, we want to thank you for calling in.
Wait a
We
minute. Did he
miss
finish
you.
the poem?
Tell me what the vision was.
Was that the phone
The vision was
Oy.
you, a centerfold, National Geographic,
Oy.
and some pancake.
What?
Want to finish it for me?
What?
Pancake what?
Pancake rhymes with biddies.
Ditties?
Titties. There you go.
Would you
Pancake titties, man. You remember those? Those used to be fun back in high school
Straight off
or
the
junior
curb,
high.
right
The
to
centerfold.
Well, I graduated in '73, so we didn't have pancake titties.
Let me ask you this. Virgil was in studio, and you're known for your very large member, as
Would
the
you-
Pharaoh
oh,
mentioned before.
come on.
But Virgil claims he was bigger than you. Any thoughts on that?
True or false?
Well, I guarantee you, I did see it once, and it's much better looking than his face.
Oh.
I can't wait to see you in New York, my friend. I hope you're doing well in the COVID era, and I hope you're taking
Okay.
care of yourself and you and your family.
Very good, guys. Let me tell you what, you guys are a lot of fun, and good luck on your show, and good health. Health is the most important thing.
Thanks, Lanny.
You know, Laddie, we're in a new studio. It's a television studio, so we're really happy to be here. And the one thing I have to say,
Oh, God.
we love you here at Monte and the Pharaoh.
Oh, that's
You've
true.
always been a great guest.
Yes.
And we love your family, and we look forward to seeing you in the Hall of Fame. And
Yeah.
just one thing from Monte to you.
What?
Please don't go on these other podcasts.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't stand them.
Oh, God.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
All right, brother. I'll
No
talk
show
to you.
restraint.
All right, bye bye.
Take it easy.
With that, we're going to go to a commercial break.
Be right back.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte the Pharaoh, seen here every Thursday from 9 to 10 p.m. out of Indie Music TV. The great Lanny Poffo, always a good part of this program.
It's always so nice to talk to the genius, and he even got to mention his penis.
How'd you like that poem?
I liked it, but I didn't. I
Dude,
thought
you
it was
don't
going to be
remember-
longer. He
do
was
you-
right. It was short.
Do you not remember pancake titties? You
What is
do. Come on,
pancake
stop.
titties? No, I don't.
When you
What
couldn't
circle
get
did you
when
run
you,
with?
When you went, look, you couldn't get the
titties.
Playboy, right?
Yeah.
Right? They always had National
Wait a
Geographic.
minute. Who got? Oh, dude, you
Yes.
what? You're fucked up.
Now
no,
you- now you
no,
know what I'm
no,
talking
no, no. Now
about.
I know what you're talking about, but no, I never once reached for a National Geographic to get a flesh fetish out. You're sick. What the hell? That's messed up, dude. No.
So,
Oops, I took the wrong magazine, Playgirl.
too funny.
I can't anymore with you. What? Did someone in the house have a subscription to National
No, but you
Geographic? I
could
mean,
look
what's
at a
going on?
National Geographic for
And
and
it's
not have a
called
problem.
pancake.
Well,
titty.
because some of the titties were pancakey.
Man, oh man, that's
flat.
messed up. Really? Wow, I never looked.
So you always learn something on Monte and the Pharaoh.
Yeah, we learned that I never looked at those.
So we're
Great.
discussing
Don't you
right
feel
now on
smarter?
Monte and the Pharaoh the passing away of famous professional wrestler,
Oh, yeah.
Mr. James Harris, who was known as to WWE fans and many other fans as Kamala or the Ugandan Giant.
Sure.
He died at age 70 last week.
Okay.
Kenny Casanova, the writer who co-authored Harris's autobiography, Kamala Speaks, shockingly told everybody that, unfortunately, another life was taken by COVID-19.
This is what got him?
Which is what got Mr. Harris.
Okay. He had a lot of health issues,
I'm
man.
always interested to know where Kamala falls in the place of Mr. Jimmy Pharaoh, who I consider one of the great.
Oh, stop.
Matt,
Here we go.
does this guy know his professional wrestling
here
or
we
what?
go. Here we go.
He does sound like he knows what
It
he's
sounds
saying.
like he does. Hey, Matt's very careful with his answer. It sounds like he does. Where does he sit? You know, it's interesting. There's another main eventer like screaming in my head that I'm paralleling him with on a little less of a public notoriety basis. But if I'm going to compare on the card, time period, impact as a villain, less, but in the ballpark, King Kong Bundy.
Bundy and what?
Notice I'm saying Bundy higher, though, because Bundy was like
Much
on Married
higher,
with Children.
dude.
No, but let me explain, though. Let me explain. I'm talking about on the card. I'm certainly not going to downplay Kamala, first of all, okay? King Kong Bundy had a short window, a few years, right? True or false? As far as his main event, come on, stop it now. Be serious with me.
I'm not. So
You know, I know
sure
you're
about
such a
that.
mark on him, but you know what? 7 years later,
Bro,
is he...
what is a short window? Is
A
it
few
you're talking
years.
A year? A few years, yes. A few,
A few
yes.
yes.
1 year, no.
Again,
I didn't know where you were going
I've
with
got
that.
them here, but they remind me of each other because of several things. Their immense size, the fact that they were the top heel at one point in Vince McMahon's company and main
Right.
eventing against Hogan.
Right.
Okay, I find those things to be very similar.
Yeah.
All right, Bundy did transcend more. Bundy got to main event WrestleMania 2. I understand that. That is why I'm saying he's above him. But for some reason, if you're asking me to place him historically, this, to me, at the time period, is where Kamala would be. You got like a King Kong Bundy, you got Kamala somewhere over here. Okay, you want to name me some other wrestlers? I'll start going like this for you, so you understand exactly
it's
where
fair.
I'm putting
It's-
him.
okay,
He was
I
a
understand.
great main event villain for a short window. It didn't last a decade as far as his main event window.
Well, I think
you know?
Poffo put it right. Kamala.
Yeah,
Okay, first of all, I want to make something clear. Kamala to me is an icon in wrestling.
I think so.
He had his spot. Okay.
Yeah.
Recently on the Monte The Pharaoh webpage, and recently on the Monte The Pharaoh Facebook page, and
Okay.
recently on the Monte The Pharaoh YouTube page,
Go on.
we posted
Yeah.
the passing of James Harris, icon. Let's remember what this guy did for the business,
Absolutely.
and let's not push our stupid agenda. And we know what we're talking about. Agenda about Vince McMahon didn't take care of this guy. Don't use someone's death.
Wow.
Okay.
Is that what's going on here? That's ridiculous.
That's what's
That's
happening
ridiculous.
here. Okay.
Yeah,
and
that's just
again
seizing an opportunity to. Yeah, that's messed up. Come on.
So
stop.
my point was, so when I wrote this stuff, these pro wrestling experts
Right.
want to use their agenda,
Right.
and you talk about extortion. The
Mm-hmm.
word extortion. I heard numerous podcasts talking about the extortion of Mr. James Harris by Vince McMahon. The extortion of Kamala. You know
Whoa,
what?
whoa, whoa, whoa! What would have James Harris been doing for a living if he had not been a pro wrestler?
Are
anyway?
you trying to tell me that James
the
Harris was?
extortion? Did I just hear that right?
I'm telling you, yes.
The extortion.
Extortion.
Oh boy, get the fuck out of here! Really? That's a joke. That's a fucking.
Well,
joke.
again,
extortion.
we have
All right,
started in
the
this industry
extortion.
about
Okay.
2 years ago, right?
All right.
With our show,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
It's gained a
Extortion.
substantial amount of popularity,
Hilarious.
okay?
Sure. Fine.
So it's funny, when we started off
yeah.
originally,
Yeah.
we were small, just these two fans doing a
Mm-hmm.
show. And there was some people behind us, and they were patting us on the back.
Oh,
and they're like,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
go, go, go. And then all of a sudden, once we start to gain momentum,
Yeah.
they jump off the ship, right?
Right.
Because, again, if you don't follow everything they want you to follow,
Right.
they're done. And this isn't, I want to make this clear.
This
If
isn't
anybody,
life.
if
This
anybody is
isn't even-
watching this show right now that thinks I'm talking about you,
Oh, please.
no, I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
stop.
talking in general terms because there's so many of you.
Right.
I can name all sorts of different things.
Right.
But again,
Right.
when you talk about extortion, a passing away of an icon, and you try to make it about Vince McMahon and the WWE and his nepotism
Mm-hmm.
and everything he's done, and meanwhile we've had, I don't know, a library of maybe 100 wrestlers
Yeah,
in here,
one after
and
another.
90% of them say
At least.
Vince is okay.
At least.
I don't need,
At
you
least
heard Lanny
90%.
Poffo. who we had call in just to talk about Kamala, tell you out there, it made it pretty clear to me that Mr. James Harris's bucket had holes in it.
Right.
Meaning that, if anyone that didn't understand that, is that as fast as he made his money, he spent his money.
You know what? I like to see these people who always volunteer Vince's money. Where's yours? What do you do? Who are you helping? Come on.
Hey, forget about that.
No, seriously.
But hold on. Most of these
You can't
guys,
sit on a mountaintop and...
Wait a minute.
you
Most
know.
of these guys who go fanboys or whatever terminology they're
Right.
using, at some point or another, they've worked for an independent company. When I mean independent, you know
Right.
the ones that have like 20 people in the
Right.
stadium?
Right.
And they either were the head promoter.
Wait, 20 people in the stadium?
Not a stadium. All right.
You mean 20 people at the freaking high school?
Right.
Or over at the dock in Huntington or
Right.
something?
So, and again,
Oh,
we
my
use local
God.
cities like Huntington
I'm
because
in
we
the
live in New York.
business.
But it doesn't matter. You're in
Can't
California.
anymore.
If you're in California, whatever.
Right.
My point is, you're
Yeah.
either a wrestler or a promoter, all
Right.
which can be bought, right? I wonder these guys who promoted these wrestling, right? How much they ripped
Oh,
off
yeah.
those kids
Oh, yeah.
that paid their
Oh,
$2,100 to
please.
become a pro wrestler. Hey,
Dude,
Matt,
we
you know
know
out there
you.
that these
Kids
guys
that got
that are
ripped
so
off.
worried about these millionaire wrestlers that they would do their own promotions, but if you want to wrestle for them, they have a school, and that school only costs $2,500, but with no guarantee that anything will happen. Isn't that preying on the weak? Isn't that preying on... hold on, I want to get my point here, bro. I'm sorry. Isn't that preying on the kid who wants to be Kamala? Hey, you want to be Kamala? Can't guarantee it, but give me $2,100, and you could roll around on my mat in my backyard.
We know someone who we've seen that, where they paid to be trained, and the next thing you know, they're now paying to buy tickets at their own event that they already paid to be trained for.
That's right.
They're cleaning the guy's ring. They paid him to be trained.
Oh, wait, that's part of the rules,
getting
too.
completely milked.
You want to
It's
be
just like...
you pay me to
And
be
no,
a
they're not
wrestler.
making $18,000 for one match!
Yeah, right.
Oh, boo! Boo-hoo!
Yeah.
Boo! Effing hoo!
But wait a minute, hold on.
Stop
Hold on. Here's the
already.
problem.
Manage
Pharaoh,
your
you're wrong.
money.
I'm gonna go get
What?
you on this. You ready?
What? Go ahead.
He made
Okay.
$18,000, but dude, there was so much traveling involved.
Oh, stop.
He had to go on a plane, and then he had to stay in a hotel,
Oh,
and then he had to put some of that
come on.
$18,000 away for what? Taxes. Oh my God.
You know, Gilbert, who was just on the show this past weekend, he was wrestling back in the early 90s for Vince, and he looked at us and goes, even then, that guy paid us mad money.
Yeah.
Mad money. I just needed to know what to do with it, but I didn't. Oops, it's on me.
But wait
It's
a
like-
minute, dude. These guys main evented in Madison Square Garden, and now they're mopping a floor. Well, maybe you should have graduated fucking high school, pal. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't
You know,
I don't know what
God gave you the gift of being 450 pounds that you can't even move, and you got a career out of it. And I'm not talking about Kamala. I'm not talking about
be
anybody,
talking about anybody.
right? My point is like,
whatever.
you heard Lanny Poffo? He was happy to be a wrestler. He's happy to be famous. He's
Right.
happy for
He was also-
fanboys like you and me having a conversation with him.
Yeah, he was also smart and managed his money. Lanny Poffo.
Ooh, is that it? That's
why
a unique idea.
James Ellsworth was just here. James Ellsworth is smart with his money.
But wait a minute. You know what's not fair?
No.
But how do you let The Undertaker or Hogan make all that money, but poor little Kamala only made $18,000?
I suppose we should have musician union for all those guys who made a mess out of themselves. But it's really actually, when you think about it, it's Jimmy Page's fault because he was always smart with his money. And he owns a castle.
Right.
And he's got tons and billions of dollars. I think Jimmy Page should be responsible for taking care of the guys from Wasp. Do you realize how stupid this sounds?
Dude,
This is so stupid.
I was listening to a podcast yesterday. You know what one of the co-hosts said? You ready for this?
Go ahead. I'm sitting, so go ahead.
Vince McMahon, quote,
What?
Vince
There's
McMahon,
quotes now?
it's like nickels and dimes that he could have paid for Kamala's funeral. Nickels and dimes. But he understands that if Vince did this for Kamala, he'd have to do it for everybody else. And then he'd no longer be a billionaire.
What?
But what's wrong with that? You don't have to be a billionaire, Vince. Why do you have to be a billionaire? Take care of everybody. How dare you?
Dude, wait a second.
How dare you even make that statement?
That's not even American. You're volunteering somebody else's money. You're basically saying demanding that somebody else should spend their money a certain way. What the hell is that? Do that with your own money.
Listen, Wrestling Forever 93. This is what he says. I want you to respond to it.
What?
I think extortion because how Kamala was used to make big money from a feud with the next star.
What?
I guess what he's saying is that Kamala was extorted because he was used, right?
He was used.
I think I got that right, Wrestling Forever 93. So if that's your point, my point is this. Lanny Poffo even said, and this is we didn't need Lanny to tell us this because we would say this anyway, right? Mm-hmm. If Kamala didn't want to wrestle Hogan, somebody else would have. And somebody else would have made $400 a match. Again, I want to put it in clarity to everybody. Want to talk about basic math? Back in the day, and I'm not telling anybody, again, just because we do a show, we're not in the wrestling business, we don't know the inner workings. Bro, we've had broke dinner with wrestlers. We've heard all the behind-the-scenes stories. No, we weren't an agent. We didn't travel around with them, nor do I want to.
You got to pick them up at an airport
to
have any say in anything? That validates your opinion?
No, thanks.
I'm a little confused.
So my point is this. You ready for this math? Yeah. I'm going to give you guys some logic. Kamala, back in the day, they wrestled double shots on the weekend, and they wrestled all through the week, right? $400. So Hogan got 10, 20, 30. Who cares about Hogan? Poor little Kamala got $400 a match. 400, you're a good math guy. 400 times 5 is what?
2,000.
Okay, and then 4 on the weekend, 4 matches on the weekend?
4 matches on the weekend.
That's 400 times 4. It's another $1,600, right? Yeah. So you're talking about $3,600, right?
Right.
Okay. Right. Kamala's average match, okay, you want to talk about doing your homework.
Probably less than 10 minutes.
Thank you. Kamala's average match is less than 10 minutes.
Right.
So if I was just to tell you, at 10 minutes at $400, what's the rate per hour for that?
Oh, that's insane. Stop it already. He got paid really good
money. And do that over a span of 2 years.
Right.
And that's not even for the pay-per-views. These are house shows. And guess what? The people came to the house shows not for Kamala, for Hogan. But the wrestling expert will say to you, but there's got to be the guy that he wrestles. Because that guy
you know what, though?
Tit for tat.
Can I use a Star Trek analogy really quick?
Go ahead.
Captain Kirk was the star of the show. William Shatner was the star of effing Star Trek, okay?
That's right.
Okay? Hulk Hogan is Captain Kirk back in that time period. He's the star, all right? So I don't want to hear about Sulu. How's that sound? I don't want to hear it, because Sulu to this day bitches about Shatner. Oh, Bill got all the money, and Bill got all the attention. Well, here's why, Sulu, because he's Captain fucking Kirk, and no one gives a shit about your stupid fucking character. Why don't you go beam yourself to planet Anus and kill your rectum?
Isn't that right?
Rectum? Damn near killed him.
You're 100%
Who
right.
cares already? You know what? You know what? Anyone who sits there and actually sits there and comes up with all of this rage over Vince McMahon over this, stop it already. It's messed up to me.
Wrestling Forever 93 said I meant Undertaker in 1992. So again, Wrestling Forever 93. Forever 93. Again, sir or ma'am, here's the deal.
Okay.
Undertaker does a signing. He gets paid about $75,000 per hour. $75,000.
A fortune.
And guess what? Promoters pay that. You know why?
Because he's worth it.
Because why?
Because they make money.
Thank you.
Yeah. They make money.
Okay, Kamala at a signing garners about $40.
Right.
This is not a knock on Mr. James Harris, so do not read into this. The point of the matter is this. Kamala was a great wrestler for what he did.
Yeah.
Okay?
Absolutely.
He was an icon in the business for his character.
Sure.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And let's not forget, everybody, I'll just go to this real quick. Kamala made a lot of money on the Kamala character, right?
Yeah, sure.
Guess who helped him make that?
Vince.
Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Lawler. Okay? They helped make that character.
Jerry Lawler created the makeup.
Right. So my point to you is, do you think Jerry and Jeff Jarrett should get a piece of that?
Absolutely, since they want to go in that direction.
Yeah, but you know what? They're independent contractors.
If they want to complain about it.
Hold on. If he had worked as an employee,
right,
Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Lawler would have got all the money.
That's right.
And those same wrestling experts would say, then what?
Looks like
it's not fair.
Yeah, right.
They're taking all the Kamala money.
Right.
He's the character.
Right.
He's the one doing it.
Right. You know what else I find fuzzy, too?
Go.
Why is Vince McMahon responsible? Listen, Kamala worked for many other territories. True or false?
True.
How many other of the great legends, and some of them who have had problems, worked for other territories? Why is Vince responsible?
Derek Green, you're right. I apologize. Jerry Jarrett. I'm a little
Hot.
ultra
Under the
hot
collar.
and sensitive over this Kamala. And I'm asking all you guys out there, please put your comments in. We love your comments. We want to answer them.
Yep.
Thank you. Go ahead, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just wondering why Vince McMahon always has to be the be-all, end-all, and he's ultimately responsible for. What about guys from the AWA back in the day with their bodies all broken now? I suppose that Vince should pay for them, and the Crockett guys, and these guys.
He's the
pay
top
for these
guy.
guys.
He's the top guy in town.
Yeah, but it's his company. It's the WWE. Not everybody spent their entire body of work in his company. Why is he got to pay for everybody's total career pain? Is what I'm talking about.
Understood.
Oh, all the bumps just came from Vince's company. It's Vince's mats that did it. Bullshit already. You know. And when does it get on the wrestlers anyway? Get some balls and form a union.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Get some balls and form a union and stand up to them and, be
So let me ask you this.
do that.
You and me
do
are wrestlers.
something.
Hold on, here's my question to you, Jimmy. You ready?
The wrestlers don't care half as much as these marks on the
No,
keyboard.
here's my question to you.
It's crazy.
We're professional wrestlers, right?
We are? I'm a little small, but go on.
Make believe.
Yeah, let's make
Okay?
believe big time.
We're in the WWE.
Yeah.
The average salary for a WWE wrestler is somewhere in the six figures. Low
Right.
six figures,
Yeah,
high
boo-
six figures,
again,
depending how
boo-hoo.
high you are. Right?
Yeah.
If we make a union,
Yeah.
you know what goes along with unions?
Union dues.
Union dues. That's a good point. What else?
I don't know what else goes with unions.
Union scale.
Ooh.
Okay?
Ow. Ooh.
You know, people talk about the NFL union. You know there's a scale, right?
Right.
Do you know that you can't make real money in the NFL till year 5? You know why?
Why?
Because the average NFL player only plays for 2 years.
That's right.
Okay?
That is true.
Stupid. So here's the thing. You know why wrestlers don't unionize? Stupid wrestling experts? Because if I think I got the goods, a la John Cena,
Right.
I'm not capping my ass.
Right.
Because guess what?
Right.
If I was in a union, I'd only make $200,000
Just like
a year.
Hogan made sure he never
But
got
wait a
his
minute.
ass
You know what's
capped.
funny?
Yeah,
If I was The
Hogan.
Rock and I was in a union,
Oh, boy.
I wouldn't be paid $87 million to be the top movie star in the world right now because I was in a union because I was capped out at $200,000. Wrestling expert idiots, morons,
And Vince McMahon.
idiots.
Vince McMahon has had to deal with wrestlers like, let's see if you can guess who I'm talking about. Brought in a guy who was not a kabillionaire, quadrillionaire. He wasn't even a main event guy. He becomes a household name, a main event, and then he takes his fall and goes home. While he's been made a millionaire by
Question
Vince.
from a fan to
Go
the star
ahead.
of the show.
What? What did
Have
I
you
do?
heard about the massive, this is from Wrestling Forever 93, have you heard about the
Okay.
massive lawsuits by lots of ex-WWE wrestlers against Vince overhead injuries?
Have I heard about all the lawsuits against Vince? Of course we've heard about them.
Thoughts?
They ain't going to win them. They're spitting into the wind. These lawsuits come and go. How many times? Who's won one yet? Honestly, though, with all the blah blah, who's won one yet?
Nobody.
They're not going to win.
And here's the other thing.
It's-
Here's the other thing. If you don't want to take a chair shot,
Don't
this is
take
America.
a chair shot.
Quit. Go shovel shit somewhere.
I,
Uncle Tommy used to tell me all the time, right? World's always looking for ditch diggers. Right?
Ditch diggers are smart enough to have a union.
Again. With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
We'll be right back.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, seen every Thursday from 9 to 10 p.m. out of Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma. Pharaoh, do you think
What?
these wrestling experts are so angry over this because they really just wanted to be a wrestler and they just like they're little wimpy asses and this is their way of like being part of it?
Yeah, does that make them in the business? By the way, could we please define what makes you part of the business?
Ooh, why don't you define that?
I would love to try to
waiting.
define it, but to me, it's not the guys who sell photos in the mail and stuff like that. It's not the guy who sits on his keyboard and types away every day. This is my opinion, and my 14 friends all mimic they parrot my thoughts. You know who's in the business? Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is in the business.
Yeah, sure is.
You know what I mean? You know who's in the business? Shane McMahon. He's in the business. Triple H is in the business. Matt Riddle is in the business.
Right.
You know.
What are you
And
trying
you
to
know who
say?
else? You know who else is in the
Am I in the
business? Like
business?
Matt Riddle's agent.
He's
Yeah,
in the
he's in the
business?
business. Yeah, he's
Sure.
in the business. But I mean, for the keyboard, dude, you know, I took my keyboard, I unplugged it, and I pushed it to the curb a long time ago. You know, I mean, thank God you still do it. But I'm like,
Well,
screw this,
why-
man.
why
I don't
did-
care
why
what any of
did-
these
why-
people
why did
think
you-
they are. I don't care what they've got to say. This is where I'm at with it. You know,
Why did you
as far as the negativity, I don't care.
why did you throw your stuff out the window though?
Because I got a problem with. It's one thing to disagree. We can all disagree. It's another thing to debate. We can all debate. But when someone just never leaves you alone because you just refuse to agree and parrot their ideology, that becomes irritating to me, like a fucking diaper rash. Who the fuck needs that? How many times I got to wipe my ass before I'm fucking clean?
Why I'm on social
Shut
media?
the fuck up already and go the fuck away.
Why I'm on social
You
media
know?
is because I got to bounce back and forth. So
Yeah,
I want to
go
give a
ahead.
shout out to our main man Joey. Thanks for joining us as
Joey.
usual. Our main man Michael Fenster. What's up, buddy?
Hey,
Good
what's
to
up,
see you,
Michael?
Pally.
What's
And then,
going on, man?
Timmy Tim says you're cute.
Timmy Tim!
know that- you
What's
know that's
up,
happening.
Timmy? He says I'm cute. Nice to know you
And
haven't
that's on
changed, Timmy
Facebook,
Tim.
and then obviously we're on
All
YouTube
right.
and Stitch and whatever else.
You know, don't get me wrong, man. I don't mind that. Like from time to time hearing other opinions and stuff. But man, make it valid.
Listen, dude.
It gets old after
I
a
respect
while.
everybody's opinion. Here's a problem.
I don't know
have.
if I do.
Yeah, I know you don't. But
Go on.
But I do.
Not
Like,
sure I do.
You have a right to think
You know?
any which way you want.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And here's the reality of it. I'm not going to blow a gasket over it because guess what? I'm not the guy making $1 million.
Right.
I'm not the guy making $18,000.
Right.
My blood pressure's not worth it. I'm not going to get
Right.
all aggravated about
Right.
that.
Right.
If Stone Cold Steve Austin lost $100,000, it doesn't make me any better or any worse, right?
Right. Yeah, I don't understand the obsession with other people's wallets. I think it's a little fucked up.
Well, again, it's
Quite
socialism
quite
at its
honestly.
best. I'm going to keep saying
is that what that is, by the way?
Yeah,
Clear it up for the
when
Pharaoh.
you dictate
Yeah, I can't.
what
That-
people have to think, that's
that's
called
Dude,
socialism.
well, I'm not a fan.
Wake up, America.
Not a fan of that, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that. You try to tell me what to think or what to do, and you get pushy with me? Oh, F you. F you. Good luck with
But
that.
you value people's point, right?
I do. I absolutely have an open... You know me. I have an open ear for people, but if you overstay your welcome with your stubborn bullshit,
Right.
get out. Go.
We're gonna
Bye-bye.
move past. Rest in peace, James Harris. Kamala.
Absolutely.
We hope
Kamala
to see
was
you
a legend,
in the Hall
man.
of Fame.
And he should have been put in the Hall of Fame before
I want to
this.
tell Lanny
Of course he
Popo, who's
should've.
watching and who is on. Lanny, as being part of the guest, or one of our sponsors, Good Fucking Wine, will be giving you a free bottle of wine for being part of the Monte and the Pharaoh show.
Can we call him when he drinks it and mess
Do you
with
think
him?
Lanny drinks? That's the one thing I'm
Ooh,
concerned
you know,
about.
you're
I
right.
don't know if he does.
Lanny-
He keeps himself pretty healthy.
Lanny might not. Very interesting.
Anyway,
Not sure.
catch Monday Night Raw. Ric Flair took a little shot from your boy Randy Orton. Your thoughts?
Oh, I thought that was fantastic. Didn't you like that?
Oh my God, I loved it.
Man, Ric Flair just doesn't stop, does he?
How about the story he was telling, man? He had me. Ric Flair could make me cry. He does it a lot.
You know what really got me? When he was saying to Randy, because Randy was like, you're an attention whore. You're always on the show because you
Right.
need to be. You need this. It's pathetic. And he was like, you think Hogan doesn't call me?
Yeah.
Like saying how badly he wants to be on this show every
Dude, that was shoot. That's a shoot right there. That was a shoot right
And he
there.
mentioned someone else. It wasn't just Hogan. It was like another name. I'm like, oh, man. That was fantastic. But I am still just amazed that Ric Flair can still take these bumps.
Well, that wasn't much of a bump.
Look,
dude.
it's enough of a bump. He's 71. He almost died
did he
last.
do?
He had coma last summer.
I know. Well, they handled it well, right? He kind
Did
of
he get-
rested him
did-
down. It was all right. They went dark before the punt.
I guess so.
Look.
Yeah, I guess so.
Dude,
man,
the story.
I felt like he was
itself
going to
was-
incinerate.
It was
though.
awesome.
It was. Randy
Wrestling right
Randy
now.
Rhodes. Randy Rhodes. Oh, stop!
Hey, it's Randy Rhodes.
What were the last words? Fucking A! Anyway, you. Randy Orton was
What was
amazing.
what's Ozzy's wife's name?
Sharon?
Yeah. I fuck Sharon.
Stop it! It was already
Go ahead, finish
tasteless.
your
Now
thought.
it's just completely. I forgot my thought. I got Randy Rhodes.
WWE UFC says he respects us.
Who?
WWE UFC says he
Oh,
respects us. Well,
thank
thank you,
you. Oh, thank you.
UFC.
Oh, good.
We respect you too.
Yeah. Well,
Go ahead.
keep it clean. That's hilarious. No, I just thought it was an amazing segment.
Does that open the door for
Yeah.
the return of Charlotte
Yeah, it
against
does.
what we were talking about a month ago?
Yeah,
Charlotte
going to fight Randy Orton. You know what's funny, though? Didn't Charlotte herself one time say to her father, "What you mad at, Dad? You going to cry? What's she going to get mad about? Hey, you made my father cry. You did, too. You got no case.
It's a really good
Feud over.
It kind of veered off that whole.
Yeah.
That's so funny. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, what are they? But again, great segment. Randy Orton's freaking awesome. Please beat McIntyre, please.
So that's what I was going to ask you. Does this mean SummerSlam McIntyre loses the belt to Orton?
Because all my senses are
Prediction,
saying,
please.
No, I'm not making a prediction. I'm making a.
I refuse. I will not make a
Yeah, it
prediction.
takes away all my
It ruins
enjoyment.
wrestling
Oh,
for
I
me.
know everything, and I say the
ruins the
following
show.
is going to happen.
Well, speaking of that, I want to say that.
I
too.
hate that.
Now you got me on another tangent.
What?
These friggin' wrestling
Here we
podcasters. Again, we're a broadcast. We're a television broadcast. Thank you.
Yeah.
They're so proud when they get the wrestling matches right.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I got it right again. It's fake wrestling, bro. And you got a 50% chance.
Do you remember my record when yeah. Do you remember my record? I think when I
was like
put it
really good.
Dude, it was like 387 and 20 or something like that. I had gotten
and then
like.
when I put the pressure on, you froze up like Eric Sims during an auction.
Anybody want to buy this microphone headset here? It's wait, is anybody calling? Anybody calling? Oh, shit.
Go ahead. Pharaoh's referring to the auction we had last week, hosted by super agent Eric Sims,
Phenomena.
who Pharaoh said
Phenomena.
reminded him of Ralph Cramden from The Honeymooners when he was on that game show.
Chef of the future. Oh, Kenneth Corey Apple. Kicking Corey Apple. That's great.
Go ahead.
Hey, Ralphie. Corey Apple. Oh, my God. Yeah, it opens up the door for Charlotte. That would be very interesting. But you know what, though? I mean, with everything screaming in my senses that McIntyre will lose, that means McIntyre will win. So annoying.
So you don't want to pick?
I'm not going to pick, but
I'm going to Randy Orton, Carl.
I would like to think Randy Orton will win.
But I'll tell you, if they start pushing Charlotte going for the heavyweight title,
Right.
I'm not going for
Maybe
that.
Randy Orton won't win because
Yeah,
Charlotte will interfere.
Yes.
And
Yes.
McIntyre keeps his belt, and now we've got that feud.
That's why you're the Pharaoh. You're brilliant.
Yeah, I'm glad I deducted that. It was by accident. but-
Dominic took it like a man this week.
You know, listen, I got to be serious for a second about this kid. Have you ever seen such a quick ascension into an on-air convincible character?
Loved it. Loved it.
Dominic is doing great.
Loved it.
He's doing great. He came up like a nervous ninny the first time, and the second time a little better. Now what are we talking? It's only been a couple of months. I think he's fantastic. And what? By the way, though, what was with that beating, though? I haven't seen that
That was
since
a
Mel
beatdown,
Gibson's
dude.
ví.
Oh, whoa.
I'm serious, dude.
Whoa.
I didn't like
I'm going
old
to have to
stuff.
cut that thing.
No, why? Because I stated that Mel Gibson made a violent movie on the Messiah?
Whoa.
Dude, what about all the stripes on his back? That made me uncomfortable. I am not making a joke of this. That made me uncomfortable. That was a massive beating. I had a problem with that. That was too much.
I thought it was good.
Great job by Dominic, but how many times can you hit him? They hit him in the front, and then they hit him in the back, and I'm sorry, that's what I was
You know
thinking
what?
about.
I'm telling
and
you,
there's nothing wrong with
If
that
there
either.
were fans in the audience,
That was unsettling.
this is some really good writing.
The fans
really
would have
good
really
writing.
been oohing and ahhing. That was
Bruce
brutal.
Pritchard and his team
That was
are
brutal.
doing a fantastic job, in my opinion. I'm just sorry.
Dude, they striped him up, man.
How good was that, dude?
It was great, but I guess that's what it was supposed to do, make me
All right,
unsettled. I was unsettled.
Before a quick commercial break,
Go ahead.
Umberto Carrillo.
Yeah.
Destroying that guy. What's going on now? That guy has all the goods. I'm not
He
understanding
does
this.
not have all the goods. He's missing one thing, and you know damn well what it is. He can't talk. He cannot talk.
So put him
and I'll
with
tell
Selena.
you, and this is going to sound like, I don't even know how this is going to sound, but I think that the moment Angel Garza came in, Vince McMahon completely forgot about him. I feel that way. Maybe I'm wrong to feel that way, but I feel like he knows that Angel Garza is the whole package.
So do you think after we're dead?
Because he is.
You think we're after we're dead?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
That there'll be someone sitting at this dais, this Monte The Pharaoh. Maybe it'll be Johnny and Joey.
What,
in the same studio.
Wait a minute,
Matt, you'll still be alive.
Wait a minute,
you're
like
youngster.
fake Ace and fake Peter Criss?
Yeah, that right. But they'll be talking about, Angel Garza got all the money while poor Humberto Carrillo has a GoFundMe page. It's unfair. He was treated and mishandled. It's not right.
Dude, if that's who's going to sit in these chairs, we should leave nails and thumbtacks on them right now. What are you talking about?
With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
We will be right back. Oy.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, seen out of Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma, New York. Before we get to our next subject, and we're almost out of time, I want to talk about our upcoming events, Pharaoh.
Okay,
shoot. I think next Saturday, Matt, we're in studio with Al Snow.
What does everybody want?
Head.
Nice.
And then I think we're with Doink and Dink in studio.
Okay.
This is all
does Bret Hart know? He's a big fan.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I
does
didn't
Bret
know
Hart
that.
know?
And then finally we end up with the man that rules the world. Sid Vicious will be in studio.
Oh, I am a nervous wreck.
After these interviews, after the Al Snow and the Doink and Dink interview, then we having a live auction also on this channel. We'll be signing autographs, dolls, toys, whatever else. So please hang in there. It's going to be a wonderful Saturday. Then we interview Sid, and then Sid, we have a live auction right after that too, and that's in joint effort, the Doink and Dink and Al Snow with ESS Promotions, and for the Sid Vicious, our Mr. Eric Sims will be the guest special MC.
Okay.
Which means that he'll be off microphone. Because we can't have
How can you be an MC and be off the microphone?
We can't have a remake of what happened last Saturday.
That's a very quiet MC. What are you talking about? Oh, my God. This is not right. Hey.
All right. I want to finish up with this.
Finish up with this.
Booker T on Dixie Carter. Seems like Dixie Carter likes the sausage. What are you thinking?
Sausage. Sausage.
I've never seen someone dance to a sausage song.
I love sausage. I'm Dixie. Dixie, yeah, she probably had half the locker room. What are you going to do? You blame her?
Is she a fan?
Wait a minute, man.
Is she a fan girl?
She's an older, wealthy woman.
Good looking, by the way.
I never thought she was bad. I mean, she's not, oh my God, but she's fine.
If you were a wrestler
for her age, she was fine.
and you were single,
yeah,
and you're at the bar and Dixie wanted to...
If I'm 25 years old working at TNA and Dixie's whining and dining me, getting me lit, and then wants to hang out afterwards, and I'm single, oh yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. Yep.
So you think it's just like
the sausage?
Dixie had her rounds.
So who cares? What's the big deal? Yeah. It really doesn't bother me one way or the other, but I think it's hilarious that people are like, "Hey, do you hear? Dixie likes the sausage." Who gives a shit? I don't care. That's cool. I mean, she probably completely molested poor AJ when he was a kid.
She might have marked AJ.
I think she completely probably, poor AJ. He's like, I can't wait to get the Vince. Get the hell out of here.
By the way, AJ's wife's not that good looking.
Stop it. See, I don't know what she looks like.
What, never seen, like...
No.
You don't check that out?
I am so not interested in so many other aspects of the behind-the-scenes wrestling, which is why my keyboard sits at the front of the house.
You really are not into the behind-the-scenes. I like all the behind-the-scenes
No, I do like some of it, but when I see how crazy people get, spending their money and... everything else that they do, deciding how they should live their lives, I'm not that interested. I'm not that kind of person.
All right, I have one last question before we cut out.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got a wrestling show like we have.
Yeah.
and
At least it's not a podcast.
I'm your partner. At least it's not a podcast.
At least it's not
That's
a
right.
podcast. Go on.
I'm your partner.
Yeah.
And I turned around and I said, hey, I used to know Andy Kaufman, and I'm the one that got him interested in wrestling.
Sure you did, pal.
You know, but I don't say it, and I just start saying it now because Andy's dead and he really can't rebute what I'm saying. Is that the right word, rebute?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Andy's friend, Chamina, whatever the fuck his name is, right?
Okay.
If I said that to you, would you be like, get him on the show since you're such good friends with Andy Kaufman?
No.
No.
Because he reminds me of that dude who used to walk around with the picture of Ringo Starr in his wallet.
Chamina,
I think he was there one time to fix his doorknob or something.
I guess my point.
He's my best friend.
I guess my point is
Not
that
interested.
I respect everybody's opinions,
Yeah.
but this has been a wonderful show.
Yeah.
We heard from
Superb.
a future Hall of Famer
genius.
on his thoughts, the true genius.
Yeah, Lanny Poffo.
And then,
Much respects to Kamala.
right, and
You
we
know?
respected Kamala,
You know?
and we had our viewpoints.
Yep.
I want to tell the wrestling experts out there, this was not a particular attack. I mean, some cases I was naming some things that were said on some of these said
Fine.
podcasts.
You know I don't
right?
read any of this.
Do I disagree
what you
with
show
it?
me here.
Yes, I do.
Right.
Again, you're not you people are not the keeper of the wrestling world. You're not the keeper of the world.
They think they are,
You
though.
could hate Vince McMahon as much as you want.
Yeah, go
That's
ahead.
all well and good.
Right.
And
I guarantee you this much, though, and this is my message to these people that you're speaking about. Not to quote James Hetfield, but I ain't going to waste my hate on you.
Bob Zamuda. Thank you, man. Bob Zamuda. So I asked the fans out there, too. If I claimed I knew Andy Kaufman and I really didn't, but I did, and I guess I'm saying I did, wouldn't you expect Bob Zamuda to be on my show then?
Yes, I'm
He
saying
would. I would.
you
I'd
did.
be like, hey, Bob, come on my show because I'm the one who made Andy become a wrestler because I'm that important. That's the other thing. Self-importance. You guys aren't that important. None of you are that important. We're not that important.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Who we are.
In the big scheme of things?
In the big scheme of things, no.
No.
We're just trying to have fun, entertain,
Right.
and give our opinion and let the fans voice their opinion
Right.
also, right?
Right.
So we want to thank all the fans out there for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got a laugh out of it. I got a laugh out of it. We want to
know I
thank
did.
Lanny Poffo, the great Lanny Poffo, who we
right.
love.
That's
And
right.
again, I don't know what it takes to be in the biz, Pharaoh.
Right.
Just because you
Okay.
drove around with a wrestler
Right.
as an agent doesn't mean you're in the biz.
No.
Okay?
Not in my mind,
You
but-
only know what the guy told you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if that's the case, then we're in the biz because we drive around wrestlers all the time. We're on the show all the time.
Chief J. Strongbow was in the biz.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I have a pretty clear idea of who's in the biz and not. Yeah, that works for me.
Anyway, so again, I want to remind everybody next Thursday we're on live from 9 to 10 p.m. You can catch Monte the Pharaoh here out of Indie Music TV, also on our YouTube channel, Monte the Pharaoh page, channel 115,
115,
right?
yeah.
From 8:30 to 9 p.m. on Tuesdays, and on Saturday from 6 a.m. to 6:30. Catch us on channel 20 in about 4 hours from now at
Nice.
1:30 a.m. I think I got the time right.
Sweet.
Catch us on Twitch TV, and we'll make a special announcement. Monte the Pharaoh will be on Amazon Prime in about 1 week, so also catch us on Amazon Prime. So big exciting moments. Don't forget also next Saturday, Doink and Dink, Al Snow, and the man who rules the world, Sid Vicious. And then I just got a special call that Bob Zamuda will be in the following Thursday.
Okay.
Are you into Bob Zamuda?
Fantastic.
Do you even know who he is?
No.
There you go.
There we go.
Anyway, Pharaoh, any passing thoughts for our fans and the people out there?
Stay off your keyboards unless you got something positive to say for a change. How about that? And if you don't got anything good to say, just unplug it. Put it out to the curb because most of us are tired of hearing your shit anyway. That's how I feel about it. I really don't give a flying fuck about any of yous with your negative shit. And your negative shit towards Vince McMahon or any of the other stuff, And if I don't seem like a nice guy, sorry, maybe I'm not. I don't know what to tell you. Just what's with all the bitching,
And this is
when a man passes away, let him pass away with dignity, and don't make it a personal vendetta for something that you think is, so right. And that's just my opinion.
Here's a perfect
Whatever.
thing for you to end on. Because
Yeah.
this is the support your comment. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Garguts Entertainment says,
Yeah.
I filmed for the biz for a long time
Okay.
and wasn't even in the biz. LOL. Right? That says it right there.
I guess
So you may
so.
think you're in the biz, but you're not in the biz.
Yeah, come on, man.
You may think you know, but you don't know.
Right. And stop volunteering other people's money when you know damn well you wouldn't part with your own.
Exactly.
Stop it already.
This is Mike Monte.
This is the Pharaoh. Get off your high horse, and we'll see you next week. Later.